Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. My name's Erica and I am going to be working on my WIP in progress right now, which is Chuck Pinson, Loves Infinity Garden. My last video included an update of how the whole WIP looks. I haven't worked on anything since then besides this little area of 3 squares that I'm working on right now. Once I finish these 3 squares, I'm going to be 1/3 of the way done with this kit. And I'm working on this kit for summer's Sparkling Good Time event, which is the 100,000 drills of summer. It goes from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so that's what I am doing this for. Let's start out. If you have a project that you're working on, feel free to work on it or just listen to me. I've got some updates in life for you. It's been a little while since I did kind of a WIP in chat, and it looks like I just already started putting that in the wrong place. And I have no idea. Oh, there it is. Let's get that off there. You know what? It's just gonna stay there. It's gonna be fine. Hazard of trying to diamond paint while you film. Usually I don't have that hard of a time with that, but am I even in frame? Yes, I am. Okay. All right. Really starting now. So today is the 14th of June, Flag Day. It is finally starting to get hot here in Texas. It's been like in the 80s, which in my experience for June is pretty cool, and it's been raining a fair amount here, which probably won't rain again until like September. So it is the kind of feels like summer is starting here. I am actually today, my husband and I are gonna go over to one of our friends' houses and swim. We have a pool, but they have children, so it's easier for us to go to their house than vice versa. And their kids do a lot of baseball, and they don't have any this weekend, so it's exciting times. Let's see. As far as I want to talk about diamond painting. Let's talk about diamond painting. I have been diamond painting like crazy. I have, since you saw that Which Bedroom WIP parade, I have done another 2 rows of that. So I am really close to being completely finished with Which Bedroom. So I think that probably my next video will be that one. I mean, I think I spent the last 2 days I worked on that. I put this kit aside, and I know at least one of you pointed out that, yeah, I said I don't work on multiple WIPs at a time, and I don't really like it, but this one is just so big, and that contest for summer Sparkling Good Time is so long that, and it's just such a big project. I need to break it up with something. So I'll probably even, once I finish the witch kit, I'll probably start another one just to have something to break this up. It's not the kind of project, it's over 100,000 drills. It's not the kind of project I can get through in, 2 or even 3 weeks. So, but yeah, my next video, I presume, will be the review of the witch kit. And then I think that that's not gonna be a very long video. So I think I'll probably I know we talked about a little bit of a house tour of a little bit of the house. I mean, I'm not gonna show you like the guest bedrooms probably, because I mean, their guest bedrooms are pretty boring. There's beds in there. But I probably will put that in that video. So probably next week, or I'm sorry, probably on Wednesday, you'll see the witch kit finish review, as well as kind of a little bonus of house tour. I want to make sure that I keep, diamond painting involved in everything, but just throwing in a little extra bonus footage, if you can call it that. I don't know if it's bonus footage or not, but we will do a quick tour of what the house looks like. And I have not decided what diamond painting I'm gonna do after I finish the Which Bedroom kit. I'm gonna need to figure out kind of I can't believe that we're already in mid-June and I'm gonna need to figure out my third quarter diamond paintings. That is kind of nuts. I have noticed that since I have not been working, it is kind of difficult I'm starting to understand, like my parents who are retired or never know what day it is. I'm kind of starting to understand that because it's Saturday today, which when I was working was like Saturday morning was the best thing in the world. And I still have no complaints about Saturday morning, but you just don't get that same feeling when you're not working. I pretty much have had a job since I was like 8. Like, no kidding. I made funnel cakes at festivals, like from when I was 8. But so I'm not familiar with this. I don't mind not having a job, but I also have our house is for sale, so I have that kind of distracting me right now. And so, yeah, I'm not sure how it would feel if I really didn't have that to focus on. I have, if you're new here, I'm an attorney. I left my job a little less than a month ago. I'm a litigation attorney. I was doing insurance defense of mainly trucking companies and truck drivers in auto accidents. And we are trying to sell our house and move to Montana. So that's the job I've been doing. It's not one I wanted to try to do from Montana because part of my job is to try cases. And getting from Montana to Texas to try a case sounds like a nightmare to me. It is stressful enough to prepare for a trial, and I don't want to have to worry about travel issues in addition. So somebody that I used to work with has pretty much told me I can work remotely from Montana, helping her on her cases. But I just said, I appreciate it so much. Let me try to get my life in a little bit more order, and let me make sure I can get up to Montana, and then we'll go from there. So I don't know if I want to do that or not. I have toyed around with the idea of opening a wine shop. I'm pretty into wine. I've gone to some sommelier courses with the Court of Master Sommeliers in the past, and so that's been something that's been kind of in the back of my mind. It says something that maybe I want to do, but I've started a business before, and it's a little stressful, and so yeah, I'm just kind of mulling that over. It's not something that I'm gonna make a decision on yet, but it's something that's it's been in the back of my mind for years, truly. So it's something I'd like to do, but I don't know. We'll see. It's not the cheapest thing in the world to start. And so, of course, costs and then generally income is going to be worth it. There's not a ton of people in Montana. There's even less people in the town where I would open a wine shop. So it's something that I'm mulling over. I got away from diamond painting. I was going to try to concentrate on diamond painting first. I have no kits in the mail right now. I have done a good job. I haven't ordered any lately. Today's Saturday. I'm probably going to be getting a little notification on my phone anytime because it's Saturday morning about Diamond Art Club. Sorry, my husband is blowing off our back patio, if you can hear the leaf blower. And so okay, so one thing I did like for this week, which was I think it was a Dominic Davidson fireworks, patriotic, Statue of Liberty with the flag in the background kit. I like that one a lot. I'm trying not to buy any right now. So I am going to hold off. I did put it on my wish list. I would love to pick it up if it ever comes back into stock and do it next year. But I think, yeah, for now, I could use points to buy it, but again, it's more about, I'm trying not to buy anything in the hopes that we're actually gonna be moving. soon, although I don't know, I'm starting to lose hope in that. But yeah, so I'm not picking up anything this weekend and I have nothing on the way. So I'm doing a good job of not eating my words about saying that I'm not going to be buying any more kits before I move. Because there for a while I would keep saying that, and then I decided maybe I should stop saying that because I just kept violating my own rule. Okay, so with regard to our house, we have gotten several offers. We have taken none of them. Basically, people are looking for a deal. Interest rates are high. I'm not mad at them, but you know, we've put a lot of money into this house on adding a pool, adding a fence, adding a bunch of landscaping. You know, there's just been a lot that we've put into the house, and I think it's priced fairly. And so I am still hopeful that we will get an offer. We had a second showing yesterday, so I'm hopeful we will get an offer that we can accept. But it's definitely been a harder process than I would have thought. I fully anticipated that we would have already moved to Montana by now. So it's a little discouraging, I would say, because you know, the summer is the best time obviously to be in Montana, and every day that goes by is a day that I wish I was there. So keep some good vibes going for us on being able to come to terms on a price with someone who wants to purchase this house. That would be appreciated, because you know, there's a point at which we aren't going to be able to take less than a certain amount of money for it, because we need money to build our new house. And as it stands right now, our house is priced less than any other house in our neighborhood. So we're not asking the world for it. We cannot, you know, we just can't accept something that, like, I mean, for example, we've gotten an offer that was, I think it was like $50,000 less than the list price. That's not something that just not going to be able to do. So that's what's going on with that. Don't have a lot going on this week. I did get jury duty. So that's pretty funny to me. I think I have that. It's not this coming week, but it's on the 23rd. And I have never been on a jury. Mostly because I'm usually the one who's picking the jury. So I think that's going to be interesting, because typically attorneys don't want another attorney to be on a jury. Like, that's just generally how that works, because you're just going to have, they presume that the one attorney is going to kind of take over, and it's, instead of being a jury of 6 or 12 or however many are on your panel, it's more like a jury of one. So I get that. I don't know what kind of case it is. I have no idea. I have no problem being on a jury. And quite frankly, it turns me off when people are just like, well, I don't want to do jury duty. I don't want to do jury duty, and like making up reasons why they can't do it. Because if you're in a position where you need a jury, you would hope that there would be people who were willing to do that for you and be fair and impartial and listen to the evidence. So I don't know if I'll get selected or not. I don't know what kind of case it'll be. Generally speaking, a lot of times the cases that go to jury trial are personal injury cases for car accidents or slip and falls. So I have represented both plaintiffs and defendants in those cases. So we will see. But I think the odds of me getting selected for a jury are probably pretty low. I would actually love to serve on a jury in the event that I could do so, you know, impartially. And there's a whole nother layer for me, because if I know the attorneys, that could throw a wrinkle into it, because, you know, I'm just a human, right? There are attorneys in Texas who I really don't care for. right? And there are attorneys in Texas that really don't care for me. So if it's one of those attorneys, then I would likely need to tell that to the judge and to the attorneys so that they could make a decision about whether they wanted to excuse me from the panel or use one of their strikes on me. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. I know that that's probably foreign to a lot of people for somebody to say that they're looking forward to jury duty, but it couldn't have come at a better time. I'm not working. So I have time. I have time to sit on a jury in the event that I'm selected. So that's one thing that's coming up. And then let's see, this week, I don't have a ton. I finally made, you all may have noticed that I haven't worn my hair down in a video in a while, which is because my hair is out of control. I haven't gotten it done because I thought that we would have moved by now. So I kind of just, it's expensive in Texas to get your hair done compared to other places I've lived. So I figured I would just wait, and it would probably be cheaper in Montana. And I've gotten to the point where I cannot wait any longer. So I am going to a random salon that I've never been to on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. I am not one of those people who is super picky about how their hair looks. So it should be fine. But I didn't feel like going back to the person that I had gone to. They moved salons. It's quite a bit further away from my house than it was before. And yeah, I basically already said goodbye to her, and I just don't feel like going back and talking about it anymore. So that's kind of weird, but that's where I'm at. So yeah, I've got that going on. And kind of kicking it around the idea also that if we get an accepted offer, maybe we'll take a trip to Las Vegas, because the last 2 times that we've tried to go to Las Vegas, those trips have been canceled. One time it was canceled. We were supposed to go two Christmases in a row, 2024 and 2023. And so in 2024, my husband had his retina detached right after, it was New Year's that we were supposed to go, I guess. It was right between Christmas and New Year's. His retina detached. He had to undergo an emergency surgery, and he had an air bubble put in his eye, and he wasn't able to fly for about 3 months, I think it was. So we couldn't go then. And the year before that, my husband's boss wouldn't let him go, wouldn't give him the time off of work. So that's been fun that we missed those 2. So kicking around the idea of going to Las Vegas. I mean, sadly our dog passed away, but for purposes of travel, it does make it somewhat easier. He was old enough that I didn't really want to board him. So it does make it, I mean, generally speaking, for probably the last 5 years, we didn't really board him. We would go on trips. My dad would come stay with us, and we would go on trips. And so he was looked after then. But since he passed away, if we want to go on a trip, we can go on a trip at the last minute. So that is something that I'm kicking around. I've never been to Las Vegas in the summer. So, I mean, I know it's hot, but I guess the way I think about it is, besides walking outside to and from casinos, which I know is a substantial length sometimes, I don't plan on spending much time outside unless it maybe would go to the pool, but we have a pool, so that's kind of not, it's not generally going to be the highlight of a trip for us. Probably the highlight of a trip to Vegas for us would be dining, trying out some new restaurants, as well as I do like to gamble. I like to play craps, the dice game. So I'm not so sure that the heat is a huge factor, but I don't know. If you've gone to Vegas in the summer and loved it or hated it, let me know. It's going to be easier to get to Vegas from DFW than it is from either Missoula, Montana or Kalispell, Montana, that's for sure. So there's not a lot of direct flights in Montana. as you might imagine. Getting pretty far. I did the, ooh, I just almost, did you see that? I just almost dumped that entire tray of 310 on the ground. I would have been so mad. Let me put these back in here before I dump them. But what I was going to say is, I put in this morning before I started filming all of these enhancement drills. If you did not see the last video where I talked about this kit, I am using the DP with sparklers enhancements on this one. So it is super sparkly, and as you can see, like there are some round special drills in here. There are lots of these glitter drills, sparkler drills, what do they call them? Metallic drills, like this metallic rouge. And they're, generally speaking, lots of them are for the flowers. I'm now gonna start working on this green color. It's $4.69. They call it the pixie dust. It's the pixie dust, fairy dust. And this is one of the enhancement drills. It is a kind of a grass green color, and it is the K. So, how is summer going for everyone? I think it's, I think kids are out of school now. So if you have kids, I hope you're enjoying that part of it. I know some of my friends find kids being out for the summer stressful. Some love it. Just depends on what you have going on. So I can understand that. If you're heading around every weekend to baseball games in the heat, have fun with that. Anybody have any good travel plans coming up over the summer? The other place that I'm kicking around trying to go to in the not too distant future is maybe to Italy and southern France. I've not been to Italy before, and I've not been to southern France before. So that is another place that maybe northern Italy and southern France is what we're thinking about doing. I don't want to go in the height of the tourist season in summer. I'd rather try to go in the fall, but I haven't really gotten too far into it. I haven't done much research on, like, I don't even know what are the temperatures in the fall. Is it less expensive in the fall? I would presume it is, but I haven't really gotten too far into it. I haven't looked at flight prices or any of that. But I would like to go to Provence, Nice, Marseille, kind of that area of France, and then maybe Milan, maybe check out where they make Barolo wine in Italy. Wine is usually, at least in Europe, wine is usually a consideration as to where we go. My husband and I like to do wine tastings and try different wines. I would say that Italy is the wine region, or the wine, the big wine producing country that I know the least about. I know much, much more about French wine. So it would be pretty educational as well. Let me know if you've taken a wine trip to Italy, and if so, what areas you went to. Whether or not that's something, an area that you recommend or not. I would be interested in knowing about that. It's, I've never gone to a country where I couldn't at least get by with the language. I speak enough French to get by, so going to France doesn't really make me nervous. I know that there's Google Translator on my phone and all that, but it just gives me a little bit of anxiety to think about not being able to communicate at all with people unless I have my phone. I know that a lot of people in Italy and throughout Europe speak English, so it's really an unfounded fear. but I've just never done it. I've gone to, I mean, I guess I've gone to Mexico and I don't speak Spanish. So, but I mean, it's been to like a resort. So I don't think that counts. An unpopular opinion, probably, definitely an unpopular opinion for Texans, but I do not care much. Where is my hand? Have I been painting off frame that whole time? I don't care much for, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing more, if I can. Okay, that's as far as it zooms in. I don't care much for going to Mexico. And that is a major destination I have found for Texans. It's easy, right? It's easy to get there. Sorry if you can hear my husband opening a bunch of bags in the background. It's an easy destination to get to. It's not that expensive. So I get it. I understand. It's kind of like growing up in the Midwest. Everybody goes to Florida. Here you don't hear about that so much. In my experience, it's more people going to Mexico. So we actually had an invitation to go to Mexico a couple weeks ago. It was right before Buddy passed away. So he actually passed away when we would have been there. So I'm really glad we didn't go. But also, I need to get my husband to get his passport, which is expired, taken care of. We're going to go to any of these places, but we couldn't go with our friends to Mexico because he did not have a passport. People like to, I know people like Mexico. I just don't. I'm not a big fan of the all-inclusive. And I know that there are places that are super nice down there that are all-inclusive. I know all this, and I'm probably just not being fair, but I just don't tend to think that the all-inclusive is great. I kind of would rather just pay for meals and be able to leave a resort and actually experience what's going on in the area or the country that we're in. And in Mexico you have to be a little careful in like every country. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, plenty of places in the United States you have to be pretty careful in too. But I don't know. It makes me a little nervous to go to Mexico. Get in there. I am enjoying the way that this green pixie dust is coming out. Kind of looks, basically, I think it's grass. It's definitely the color of grass, so we'll see. Let's see. What else has been going on? Nothing except for showings, getting ready for showings, trying not to live in our house because a showing is coming up, getting out of our house for showings. You all, selling a house is literally the worst. I mean, I told my husband, I'm like, this house that we have in Montana, I think I'd like to die there because I just hate selling a house. He disagrees with me and thinks it's worse to buy. He prefers to sell, but I'm not on board. I would rather buy a house in any day of the week rather than sell. I'm not a very patient person, so waiting to see if people liked it, waiting to get offers, waiting to move is all outside of my comfort zone. I like to be in control and figure out like, okay, this is what's going on. And when you're buying a house, I feel like you're more in control because you decide if and when you're going to make an offer, and you decide, what day you want to close, and you put that in the offer. And then, there's definitely lack of control on how that offer's taken or whether it's accepted or whether it's countered. But I just feel like it's easier. There certainly is that emotional aspect of like, are we going to get the house that we really like or whatever? But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Would you prefer to buy a house or would you prefer to sell one? I am super happy that we don't have to buy a house in Montana, because I have only once in my life had to do 2 closings in a day, once where I sold and the next where I purchased a home, and that was an absolute nightmare. So luckily we don't have to do that. We have land in Montana that we're going to build on. So we'll be renting when we move up to Montana. We won't, it'll take probably, I don't know, another 2 years before our house is built up there. We are, at any point, the power is going to be run on our land up there. So that's kind of the stage that we're in right now. We're putting the power in, and then we are doing some testing that's required that seems to be, I've probably talked about it before, because it's like the never-ending testing for septic, for a permit for septic, I believe. And so there's a river that's behind the property, so I think that makes it more complicated. And literally this has been going on since November. So yeah, 8 months of trying to get a permit for septic. So I guess there is a reason that the water in the rivers in Montana is so pristine, because I can tell you, at least in Missoula County, Montana, they take that very seriously. So, I mean, I'm all for clean rivers, but 8 months and not yet being done with the process, that's a while. That is a while, and I don't even really understand what they're doing. I know that we had to have holes dug on the property, and they're monitoring those holes. That's about all I know. I don't know specifically anything else. But the thing is like, if for some reason we don't get this permit this year, we would have to dig new holes in other locations and then start the process all over again. So it'd be another year. So yeah, hopefully the location of where these holes are, and I don't even know how many were dug, but it's more than one, I believe, in case one works and one doesn't. I mean, they're basically looking for where's the location that is acceptable for you to put your septic field. And so if you dig in more than one spot, you're spending more money up front to pay the people to dig, but you're also increasing your chances that you're going to get approved. And I don't know, my husband flew up there in November and coordinated all of it, and generally he's handling all that. But I mean, I just was not prepared. You know, I just didn't know that it was gonna take that long. And so now I'm wondering, I told my husband this the other day. I said, well, when do we need to apply for a building permit? Is that gonna take a year? Like, what is happening? All right, let's move this canvas over a little bit. I'm gonna be working up in this area. Still working on these K's. And I think what I'm trying to do today is to get through these 3 squares. That's how I've been working on this one. I've been doing 3 squares at a time and just doing every color for that 3 square part. I'm trying to just cut down my time changing colors with that process, and it's been working pretty well. I mean, it's taking a while, but I've gotten through it pretty quickly, and it is, you know, I have been spending many hours a day diamond painting over the past, I would say, 2 weeks. I mean, there have been many days where I've probably diamond painted for 5 hours, which is, I think before, maybe 2 hours was average for me. So, but getting like an entire row of that witch bedroom kit done in a day is pretty difficult. That takes me that's a pretty quick moving kit. But yeah, I think that row yesterday probably took me, and I broke it up a little bit, but I bet it took me 5 hours. So, you know, it's like a part-time job. It's like 25 hours a week at that level. Not 100% sustainable, but I would love to get this diamond painting done. I would love to not have, assuming we sell our house, fingers crossed, I would like to not have any WIPs going. I would like to finish up what I have going, and that way I don't have to keep track of any drills during the move. It would be fine. I mean, I have these, this is, you know, what I use, these little canisters. Oops. That's my long-winded alarm, so that I know that I've been talking for a while. But I use these little canisters when I'm diamond painting, so I have a little suitcase for those that I could put them in. It's not like I'm gonna lose them, but I don't know. Normally I don't care about God, like transitioning from one month to the next with a diamond painting. I know a lot of people don't prefer to do that. That doesn't bother me, but there's something about transitioning diamond painting from one I don't know, across the country I don't like the idea of that. I would like to be able to get up there, unpack, and then start a new diamond painting. I'm one of those people that, like, I will unpack in 2 days. Like, I don't have a lot of stuff. You'll see that a little bit when I do the house tour. Like, I'll show you my closet. My closet is huge here. Texas houses are just bigger than I would ever build on my own. But it's not very full. I just don't like to keep a lot of stuff. I actually donated my wedding dress this week to I don't know, what do you call it? I don't know, donation center, charitable donation center. And that was really hard. You know, it's one of those things. I've been looking at it, I've been married for like 16 years. And I'd been looking at this dress in the bag from the dry cleaner for 16 years. And I'd moved it from Indiana to Virginia to Texas, a couple places in Indiana. And I was like, why am I moving this dress around the country for the rest of my life that I've never taken it out of the bag? I'm never gonna try it on because I don't want to be reminded about how much thinner I was when I got married. I don't have a daughter who's ever going to want to wear it. So I donated it this week. And I also was just like, you know, maybe somebody will, at this point, it's a dress. I got married in 2009. So it's not, I'm sure, in style. But I thought, on the off chance that somebody could have the opportunity who's on a limited budget for a wedding dress to pick it up and they did like it from this place, that would be great. It's going to do way more good in the world in that than it's ever going to do hanging in my closet. And every time I look at it, I feel guilty that I'm not doing anything with it. But at the same time, it was really hard to put that dress in that donation bin. I'm not the most sentimental person, so I was actually kind of surprised at how, like, I mean, there was part of me that really wanted to, like, go back in and grab it and get it out, but I didn't. I don't know. Is that just me? Do you all still have your wedding dresses if you've been married? Are you keeping them? Are you not? Are you like me that you just kind of have it in your closet and you look at it and that's it? Maybe it makes you happy. I could totally see keeping it then. It always made me feel guilty whenever I saw it, that like I was not putting it to any use. It was just sitting there in a bag, and that it, you know, and then I was just gonna keep moving it for the rest of my life. So, all right, that's a weird way to close, but I think that I've probably rambled enough. Again, please keep some positive thoughts or prayers if you pray for us in hoping that we can put together a deal soon to sell our home so we can move. I would love to share Montana with you all and why I'm so excited about moving, but it's a lot easier to do that that by showing you. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video today. I'll be back again on Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time with another video. And until then, happy diamond painting, everybody.